All right, so now here we are in Lumion at this is kind of the getting started screen. So these are some of the blank scenarios that you can start with. But we're actually going to go with our beach house example model. So we were working off of the SketchUp 101 beach house. And now we'll use our Lumion beach house example model and import those beach girls into the scene. And so the tricky thing here, or not so much tricky, it's just what you have to do in Lumion, is you need to import the model and make the texture or the image that's applied to that surface, it needs to be what's called a billboard in Lumion. So let's check it out. So I'll just kind of scoot over here, navigate around, and we're going to set up our scene so that we're going to put the girls on the beach here. All right, so all I need to do is go over to my Objects tab, which is this bottom button over here in the left menu. And then I need to click on this disk for my Import menu. And then I need to click on this folder to add a new model. So I'll click on that, and then I'm going to navigate to my Dropbox Resources, Components, and we're going to go with our people. And we have 2D photoreal people. So this is the one that we just created, and I'll choose Open. So then here's the name, people, 2D girl number 2. Say OK. So and then that model comes in, I click to place her. So you see what's happening here is that she's like this flat surface that just kind of stands there. So what we need to do is make the image into what's called a billboard. So to do that, all I need to do is go over to my Materials tab and then click once on the girl and then select right here from our custom presets, it's called Billboard. And when I click on that, now I've set that up, so now to finish the operation I need to click on Save, and now when I orbit around her, she's going to kind of always face the camera, just like a Face Me component in SketchUp. So that is how you create these 2D photorealistic people for use in Lumion. So we can add another one. So I'll go to my Objects, add a new model, and let's grab the other girl there, say OK, and we'll set her kind of right down here. Same deal, I need to just go to my Materials, click once on the image, and then click on Billboard. And now she's going to kind of orbit around, and both of them will now. So we're good to go. So that's pretty straightforward, easy process. And at this point now I can go and we'll say OK or save to finish that operation. And then let's check out some of the still images that have already been set up. So we've got like one down here on the beach. So now we've got them out there. That one's kind of cool. Maybe I'll scoot forward a bit and then lower myself just a little there. Sweet. Looks good. So we'll update our camera just like that. And now we can render this out. So maybe I guess my view, I want to get more of our 2D people in there so we can really see the difference it's making. So we'll render this at a high res, like 3840 by 2160. I'm going to throw this in my desktop temp folder and call it image number 1 and hit save. And let's just see how that looks. So now that renders out, and Lumion renders extremely quickly. It's what we love about it. And that'll look pretty good. 64 passes. Got a little bit of the global illumination happening. So we'll let that go. And just while that's running, just keep in mind that you'll notice that both of these women that we've added to our scene here are cut out photos. And the pictures from which they were cut out were taken outside. So you really want to pay attention to the lighting of the 2D entourage when you're placing them, because if you place like these girls in a office setting, not only are their clothes kind of out of place, but the sunlight and the intense lighting just doesn't quite look right. So you really want to make sure that you're using people that have been lit properly, whether inside or outside. Just pay attention to that stuff. And they do a good job on all of those different websites to provide plenty of options for that. So also, in the foreground, I keep the higher res 2D people, and then in the background, we've got our 3D people. So I just find that the 3D people, if you're trying to get that more photorealistic effect, it's better to use the 2D people. Let's look at our image. So I'll go to my temp folder, and I've got image number 1. So there it is. So kind of blends in pretty nice, looks good. And Pretty easy. Now, the other thing about importing these into Lumion is if I now go over into my Objects tab, and this is on my import collection, so all of your other collections are here, but our import collection, we can go and look at the objects. So anytime you import any 3D model, SketchUp, DWG, or whatever, Collada files, whatever you import, they show up here. So sometimes this does get a little bit polluted, but it's kind of nice if you name your components. See how I named mine prefixed with people? Well, all I have to do is just type in here people, and now I can just go in and start grabbing all the different 2D cutouts. You can also add them to your stars, your favorites collection, and access them that way. So there's a couple different ways of organizing these imports. All right. So I mentioned too that when I was over here at let's see which one, Viz People's free stuff, they've got free music as well. So I thought while we're at it, let's download the free music that they offer, and in Lumion, let's go over here and to our timeline and take a look at our movie, and let's add a soundtrack to our movie. So right now, this is the entire timeline. It goes outside, inside, and then actually the cutouts look pretty decent in this animation, not too bad. All right, so then what we want to do is add an effect to the timeline. Now keep in mind, you can add an effect to a clip. So if I click on one of these clips, I can go add an effect that is only going to affect that one clip. Now if I click on entire movie, when I add an effect, it's going to apply it to the entire movie. So I need to add a new effect, and the effect that we're going to add is under the Objects tab called Sound. So I'll add that. Now I can choose the file, so I'll click on that. We'll go to our Dropbox, Resources, and then I made a new folder called Music. And then this is where I extracted all these free songs out. And so, they're free music, and I double check on all the, the rights and everything, because I was kind of speeding through when I was looking at these, before you use them commercially. But it's always a good idea to buy music too. I mean, these guys are offering up a few samples, but if you listen to their other tracks, they're great, and it's worth it. They're pretty well priced too. So time is now. We'll just go with the entire track, and let's see, what are these? We'll go with the full one, and we'll say open. All right, so now we've added that to our timeline. I'll click on play. And so actually, in order to hear this, I think what I need to do, you can listen to it here, but let me go to my settings, and we want to turn on, let's see, muting our sound. That's not what we want. Okay, so maybe it just doesn't play. We just test it here. If you hover on this, it'll play. Pretty cool. So that's how you can really start to dial up your presentations and get some royalty-free, or I'm sorry, some free resources between the 2D cutout people, the tracks, the soundtracks to add to your movies, and just start polishing these presentations. So, anyways, hope this helps. The point is to expand your object library. This is a good way to do it. So let me know if it helps, and best of luck with the renderings out there. We'll talk to you soon.